Now, the third advantage of pre-construction investment is that you do not need to acquire a mortgage for any of your investment. Now, let's say if you're doing a rental property, or if you're going to do some flipping of houses in real estate, you have to close that property. And what that means is you have to go to the bank, get financing, you have to make sure your credit is good, you have to make sure that you have the down payments, all of it, and you have to deal with the banks and all the financial institutions. It's a headache to deal with. That's not everyone's cup of tea, and also not everyone qualifies for that. Whereas in pre-construction investment, you do not need to get qualified for a mortgage right there when you make your purchasing. You do have to qualify for mortgage when you are closing the property 3 years, 4 years down the line, once the property is ready. However, in that 3-4 years time, that is sufficient time for the market to grow. Potentially you can sell it on assignment. If you're a long-term investor, of course, then at the end of the 3rd year and 4th year, you can mortgage out. I've had investors who have purchased, for example, they wanted to live in a property, but they had low down payment. They did not have the 20% down payment to close the property. So what they did was that they purchased 2 properties in that same investment. Once the prices had appreciated, they sold one of the properties and took that money and used it as a down payment towards closing of their actual investment. So because there's no mortgage requirements, now it gives you the ability to potentially, first of all, get into a real estate investment, but also the ability to scale. You can do multiple investments and you're not limited based on your credit score or your ability to get financing from the bank. So this is the third advantage of pre-construction investment, whereas other forms of investment in real estate does not give you that opportunity. Now, the fourth advantage of pre-construction investment that is really attractive to investors is the mere fact that there is no skills required for you to do pre-construction investments. Let me explain. Let's say if you were doing flipping of homes. Well, you are not going to become successful in that field unless you are a very hands-on person. You have to be a handyman, you got to know the trades, you have to know and you have to manage people to make sure that those trades are done in a timely fashion. They're done to the renovations are being done very properly and very beautifully. So you gotta have a basic ideas and you have to have skills. Now, in pre-construction investment, your partners, which is the builders, are the ones that is going to be constructing the property. You have no headaches. You don't have to worry about anything. You don't need to worry about the trades. You don't need to worry about the getting all the products and all the stocks to make that particular investment. You don't have to worry about anything. All you're doing is you're investing your money, you're putting your down payments, and there's no particular skills required in pre-construction investment. So that also gives you the ability, let's say for example, if you are flipping again, you might spend your money, mortgage out as a home, and because you are just focused on that one particular property, you can only do one perhaps because you cannot manage multiple properties. Whereas now, because there's no skill required in pre-construction, that means you can, again, invest in multiple pre-construction properties. And that leads me to the fifth advantage of pre-construction investment, which is there is little to no opportunity cost. Again, in other forms of real estate investment, we gave the example of flipping a home. There is tremendous amount of opportunity cost there, meaning in that short period of time, once you close a property, when you're flipping, you have a couple of months, a month or two, the sooner the better, that you have to renovate this property. Whether you're getting tradespeople in there, you're doing some of the work yourself, it requires you to take your attention away from your day job or other responsibilities that you have and focus on this particular project. That is an opportunity cost, because you potentially might lose money or other opportunities where you're doing this particular investment in flipping a home. Likewise, if you're renting a home, you have to, if you're a rental investor, you have to manage your tenants, you have to collect rent, you have to manage the properties, you have to do property management, there's issues with the properties, there's opportunity costs there. Whereas in pre-construction investment, there is little to no opportunities. You study, you understand that this is a good investment, you invest your money, and then you forget about it for the next 3 to 4 years. You can do whatever, you can do your own business, you can do your own trades, you can do your own job, you can go out there, enjoy the world, whatever that is, but there's little to no opportunity cost in this particular investment. So these are the 5 advantages of pre-construction investment that is very attractive to a lot of investors. Now, if you understood the gist of it, why in totality all of this is very advantageous as opposed to any other investment, is that these advantages, which is leveraging money, which is delayed deposit structure, which is no mortgage, which is you do not require skills to work, and there is little to no opportunity cost. What this allows investors is to be able to do multiple investments at the same time, meaning they can scale their investments. Any other forms of investments does not allow you to do that, but the mere fact that you can leverage, that there's no opportunity cost, there's no skills required, there's no financing requirements and limitations, that means you can very quickly, in a very short period of time, increase your net worth tremendously by investing in pre-construction in pre-construction properties. You can do multiple investments at the same time, taking advantage of the market, high going. In a very short period of time, you're increasing your net worth and you're increasing your investment portfolio tremendously and very quickly, and you can scale it. Now, this sums up why pre-construction investment is so lucrative to a lot of people. In the next section, we're going to now talk about, well, how do we identify good pre-construction opportunities? So now we're sold on pre-construction investment, but how is it that we can go and identify which properties and which pre-construction projects is a good investment for us to make, as over 90% of pre-construction investments do not yield good results. There's a lot of key things that you have to be careful of. So how do we identify? That's coming up next.